And we are live. Welcome back to Ubuntu on Air. We are joining you Thursday, my time, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon here. I know you people on the West Coast. It's just time zones, y'all. They're hard.
Very hard. Well, thank you for everyone who is trickling in. I know that the stream's just starting now, so
Yeah, and it has been something because this has been your first sprint week. So,
yeah, not geared for Californians, I'll say
first plenary starts at 8:30 Eastern. So, 5:30 in the morning.
5:30 in
So
the morning.
it's going to be so much better once we get to do these things and we all get to be in the same time zone.
No, I agree.
Mhm. Besides the fact that it's been almost, I think this is since before either of us started, but I think it's been 2 years since we have had anything in person. So, fingers crossed that that gets to change this year.
Mhm.
So,
Oh,
and
I
not
hope so.
just for canonical get together, so I finally get to meet you in person, but for community stuff too. And speaking of,
Mhm.
we've got some, I think, some exciting community conference news.
Yeah, we have FOSDEM, which happens every year. We will be
Hmm.
hosting a booth. Anyone going to FOSDEM or doing the remote FOSDEM, make sure
Yeah,
you
I
come
think.
to our booth. We're just doing remote, so.
Yeah, I think it's all remote
Oh,
that
it is all
it
remote this year.
is here, which is good.
For the
So,
best.
especially with as many people as I mean, I've never been, but I've heard it's just like sardines in a can the whole weekend. So yeah, so we will have a virtual booth, and if you would like to help us staff the stand, um, which is one of those difference like English divided by a common language there. If you would like to help us staff the stand, like come in and just answer people's questions about Ubuntu and the community, or if you have something you've got something awesome you're doing and you'd like to give a little demo or talk about that, please email us at community at canonical.com and let us know. So, and we will be on watch our Twitter and Discourse. We will be posting the schedule for FOSDEM once we have it next week, because again, we're juggling a whole bunch of time zones. So
Yeah.
it's a little tricky to get that all done. But we've got some exciting, we have a collaboration with Nextcloud that we're pretty excited about, and possibly some other collaborations. So it's going to be great. We're happy to be getting back there. But speaking of in person and hybrid things, Britt, you've got news about one.
Yeah, so we're announcing the Linux App Summit is coming up real soon in April. So April 29th and 30th. It's going to take place in Rovereto, Italy. So if you're ever in northern Italy around the 29th and 30th of April, please stop in and join us.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we didn't have Linux Pack Summit in person last year, so this is the first year back, so it's really nice. And historically, I'm a huge fan of the Linux App Summit, so the more support it gets, the better. Um,
Yeah, and it looks like Call for Papers is going to be live on February 7th. So if this is something that you are an app developer, packager, and you would like to give a talk, it seems like I haven't been to last, but it seems like it would be a super friendly conference to give a talk at.
yeah, for those of you that don't know, the Linux App Summit is basically a joint effort between GNOME, KDE, Elementary, all of the desktops to just talk about what traits and features we have in common and try to build up a strong application ecosystem for the Linux desktop. So um, it's really great. It's awesome to hang out with all of our counterparts at the other organizations. So
Hmm.
a good time.
Yeah, I've tuned in virtually the last 2 years, but it seems like there have been some really great talks and panels. So if you take a look at the CFP page, you've got about 2 or 3 weeks to get, before those open. But if you've been thinking of dipping your toes in the water of speaking at Linux conferences, this would be a great one. Andrea, hello. So Andrea's in our Twitch chat. He's been doing the Pasta OS stream with our community host Yannick, which has been great fun. And one last in-person hybrid conference is Scale, which is the Southern California Linux Expo. Britt, have you ever been to Scale?
I've been invited. I've never gone, but I might go this
Ah,
year.
yeah, it is and this one is also coming. So FOSDEM's first, then Scale, then Loss. And Scale is in Pasadena, which I am a native Californian. Pasadena's beautiful. And there are a lot of your favorite Linux YouTubers and gamers. A lot of them are there. So I think Destination Linux goes, Linux Gamecast goes. I don't know if Bad Voltage, which is Stuart Langridge and John O'Bacon's podcast, is going to go because Stuart's in the UK. Travel's still a bit weird, but this is something that I won't be going to because it's during our Frankfurt sprint. But this sounds like if you're near California, again, I think that this would be a cool one. And please check out our discourse post because Nathan Haynes, who is one of our community members, this has kind of been his baby to kind of help with the booth on the community side. So there will be Ubuntu people there. If you want to be one of those Ubuntu people, definitely respond to that post and get in touch with Nathan. So cool. And then otherwise, what have we got going on?
Yeah, so before we move on to our topics, I see that we have Daniel and Jan in the chat. Anyone who's streaming right now, if you have any questions about the next cycle, what's coming up, what Ubuntu's plans are, go ahead and post those so we can get to them. Post those now. We'll circle around to them in the latter half. But yeah, kicking it off, we are deep in the cycle for what will be the new LTS release, Monica.
I know. Oh my, don't remind me. It's like April comes up so fast, especially when you're a mid-cycle joiner. It's like the equivalent of being thrown into the pool. Like, hi, swim. Yep.
Oh, I feel it. Fortunately, the great thing about LTS releases is that these are the ones that need to be rock solid. So they tend to be the less experimental releases. They tend to be the more tried and true traditional releases. So I've heard people call 2204 a boring release in the announcement that made it, which is a little sad.
Hi, Ken.
On the other hand, that's a good thing. For an LTS release, you want it to be a little bit of a boring release. Yeah, needs to last for 10 years.
I mean, I think one of the highlights of Ubuntu is that it just works, and the LTS is definitely, we want to just work even more. So, no, but I'm personally a huge LTS fan. I run 2004 on both my desktop and laptop. So,
I'm bleeding edge.
Bleeding edge.
I want to be on the edge. Bleeding edge is even bleeding enough for me.
I don't even know where we go from there. So, anyway, hello everyone. But no, it is. I think that especially as we get closer to the April release. I know that we have, this was something that we chatted about before you joined, but Wayne Crosby, who does our artwork, expressed an interest on being on Ubuntu on Air to kind of walk us through his process. And I am excited to see what Jammy Jellyfish is going to look like. I mean, considering how awesome Cosmic Cuttlefish was, and that's kind of, close to a jellyfish, I think I've got pretty high hopes for the official artwork. So I know that he has expressed interest in being a guest, and I know, especially from the Ubuntu Hideout, I don't know if Gorian's here, but we do have some server fans, and we might get somebody from the server team on to talk about what the developments are on that side.
The biologist in me is screaming that you said jellyfish and cuttlefish are close to each other.
Oh, okay. I mean, they have appendage thingies and they float in the water. I'm a historian, okay? I studied the stuff that was above the water and made by people. So, yeah.
All right. I'll let it slide.
Oh yeah, because aren't jellyfish more related like to corals?
I don't know if
Wait,
they're
no.
related to corals.
Okay, I'm gonna go Google while we talk about this. So, anyway, please don't clip this, anybody, and send it to my like 8th grade science teacher. So,
No, when I was studying in graduate school, we did study on like squid and
mhm.
cuttlefish. That's like one of the traditional organisms that you study neurons in.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
it's actually pretty crazy. So this is just a fun fact that has nothing to do with Ubuntu, but anyone watching might find this interesting. There is a nerve, a single cell axon in a neuron in the jelly in the sorry the squid, and it can be up to a millimeter across. That's a single cell that is a millimeter across and up to a full meter long.
Holy
When we
crap.
Yeah, when you think of single cells, I don't really think of single cells being measured in meters, but hey, the more you know, right? But that's
Yeah.
how we studied neurons, because we were so bad at science. We needed something so big it was like impossible for us to screw up. So yeah, squid facts.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of the cuttlefish talk.
Yeah.
What can we expect in this new 2204 release? I think it's going to be a great one. Of course, you're going to get the normal amount of kernel updates and Wayland and Xorg updates, and the GNOME stack is going to be updated. So everything you'd expect to come from a strong Ubuntu release is going to be present in this. Some great points to note with this new release is that with the update to GNOME 42 and with the update to the most recent NVIDIA drivers for people that are running NVIDIA cards, NVIDIA GPU should have a fairly good time now working with Wayland. So that means that Wayland, in theory, across the board, should have full hardware support, at least on
Nice.
NVIDIA devices that are able to have that 495 drivers.
Yeah, and just had to give a shout out when you were talking about the kernel. We have one of our kernel team here. So it is really great to see Ken and see Andrea and see other canonicalers here. So thank you. So, and yes, Gorian, you will be happy to know you just missed this, but we are planning to have somebody from the server team on to talk about the server, kind of what is in Ubuntu Server 2204. So,
Okay. Ken's informing us that Wayland on NVIDIA has working for 20.10. That's because the 495 drivers are present in 21.10. Last time I checked, they weren't, but I'm assuming that was because they just hadn't come out yet. It's great to see that that's been brought back to the current stable release. To me, even better on an LTS release.
mm-hmm.
It landed late in the site. Gotcha. Uh, Everything else, as far as what to expect in Ubuntu 2204, I think stability is great. We are going to be introducing, hopefully, the new installer. Is that, Monica? Do you know about that?
That is so far what I've and Ken actually might be the best person to talk about this because he does a lot with the installer. Is that the last thing I have heard is that it is going to be one of the options.
Okay.
So, and also speaking of the installer, because we probably still will have the old one for the flavors who aren't ready to switch yet, which is we want that process to go well for them too. Speaking of the installer, we are looking for people, and I'm again going to put our email address here. If you or someone you know does accessibility testing specifically with the Orca screen reader, we would love to have you help test out the new installer because we really do want this. I mean, this is an installer that should work for everyone, and having people test that to make sure that it is as accessible as it can be will be really helpful. So, if if you are an accessibility tester who has worked with the Orca screen reader or know someone who does, please either respond to our email address, pass that email address on to that person, and that test will be ready. I think Ken said in about 2 weeks. So that would be extremely helpful.
Excellent. We have a question in the chat asking about Active Directory integrations come with 2204. How are they improving? How does that compare to just using SSSD? Um, this would be a great Ken question. I'm not familiar whether or not Ubuntu is doing anything particularly novel with Active Directory integrations beyond just having a really well implemented SSSD.
hmm
I don't know if maybe Ken can speak up in the chat if you know about that.
Yeah, I think that some of these also could be good for the. We do have the desktop Indaba coming up next week, and I do know, even though the focus is going to be on theming, we're going to have okay. Oh,
Okay.
this is for Ken on the. You do want to ensure it's very well tested. Okay,
So it's
excellent.
likely it'll probably land in a default image, probably on what will be 2210, I would assume, on the first
Mhm.
non-LTS, if everything goes according to plan.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, Ken, thank you. We are really glad that you are here. And of course, another opportunity to ask questions like this will be at our desktop Indaba next week. Heather is the host for those. We're also going to have, for our guests, we're going to have our Yaru team there. And we're also going to have Cassidy from Elementary. So we've had a lot of elementary guests lately, but they're really nice to have.
They're really nice
So
people, yeah.
yeah, yeah. And also, we are super friendly here. So it's like, yeah, it's like, yeah. Here, yeah, and so that's kind of similar to what we did, I think, for 2110, is that we had an alternate ISO with the Flutter installer that we asked people to
Mhm.
test. All right. Oh, here we go. Perfect.
Excellent.
So I can't remember who. Oh, that was Gorian who asked about that. So anyway, so Gorian, hope you've got that down. We can also kind of put this in some notes at the end too. All right, or ask in Ubuntu desktop on IRC. Perfect. Yeah, we still need to get you an IRC client, Brett.
I know. I've been slow to get him
Gorion.
down.
Oh my gosh, I have been saying your name wrong the whole time. Gorion. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, um, but yes, but that is going to be coming up next week. So, oh, and Ken says we're going to have
Excellent.
more 80 features.
The Active Directory features, it's one of those things where it either matters to you 100% or it matters to you 0%. There's very few people out there that are just like, yeah, I kind of like Active Directory. It's like, it's the most
It's
important thing for
kind of
your workflow,
like,
or it doesn't matter at all.
yeah. So that's fair.
Excellent. So yeah, we have the 2204 release coming out. I hope that we can get everyone excited and ready for that one. Just yesterday, there was talk in the Ubuntu Hideout Discord about starting early. They want to do a testing cycle, just the community run testing cycle, so that way they can report as many bugs as possible. And they had mentioned wanting to start that long before. I think they had tradition in like a 4-week testing cycle. They want to do once the beta hits, they want to start it. So if you're interested in meeting members of the community, joining the Ubuntu Hideout Discord channel, getting involved in testing and reporting bugs, they're the place to go. Cool. So next up, Monica, do you want to talk about? I don't know.
Well, I think that one of the things that we asked was that, it's the start of the new year. Still, I mean, it's still January, though February is coming up annoyingly fast. And especially since you are going to be kind of more and more the face of Ubuntu on air, and this gets to be kind of your baby, is that we really want to hear from the community. What are some, I mean, we heard you on the server thing and we talked to people. So see, we would really like to get to know what kind of content would you all like to see. Oh no, no, no. My babies are all metaphorical. They're theses or streaming channels. Anyway, but we want to know what interests you all. This channel is as much, it should be for the community in all ways. And so we really want to know what is the kind of content that you would like to see, but also that some of you, and we love to encourage everybody, what are some of the things that maybe you would like to host? We have 4 community hosts now. We could have all community hosts and that would be fine. But what are some of the things, so what are some of the topics we haven't done that you think we should have an Ubuntu on air about? Who are some of the guests that you would really like us to have? I mean, be reasonable in your, guest list wishes. Like, we do know that the Pasta OS stream with Yannick and Andrea, who's in our chat, has been really popular. Are there other things that you would like us to have kind of those series on to kind of learn?
I am all for anything you guys want to throw at me. I will make it happen. You tell me who you want on.
Anything?
I'll make
Anyone?
Well, I mean, I'm willing to try. Like, you want Elon Musk? I'll get you Elon Musk. I can't get you Elon Musk.
That's okay.
Yeah, realistically, this is your channel, and we are just the stewards of it. So if you would like to see it go in a different direction, just let us know. We're willing to listen. And I think really the only person that's really asked so far said that they wanted to have more Ubuntu server stuff, so we're gonna do it. But but if that's not your thing, speak up so we can get to know you.
Well, I mean, you don't have to watch the server streams, but there is something kind of cool. I mean, I remember the first time I went on to DigitalOcean or something and did my own LAMP server and hardened it. That was, I was like, I feel like elite hacker here. It's like, what? And I do know that the Ubuntu Hideout has said that more kind of, like things like server hardening and other kind of like, those practical skills. So, yeah.
So Ken wants more gaming on Linux. Hey, I want more gaming on Linux as well. Maybe
Yes.
that'll be my little passion project, just a little more gaming on Linux.
Well, I think I tuned into the gaming on Linux Twitch stream, and they were playing. Okay, I can't remember the name of the game. Somebody please do this. It's like basically space dwarves, and with this like horrible planet, and it's all kind of co-op stuff, but it's very just fun and random. But I think getting Liam from Gaming on Linux and maybe like to talk and game at the same time, that could be cool.
That'd be pretty cool. You could watch me play games, but my gaming is me losing repeatedly, but having fun. I'm just having fun regardless. I
That's why
gave
I
up on
play.
being good.
That's why I play Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing. So hacking Baldur's Gate on Linux or on Ubuntu.
That could be fun. With all of the talk with Steam and with all the Proton news going, there's thousands and thousands of games that are working on Linux now. So we'll figure out one that we think represents the community and we'll go town. Though yesterday we did have a pretty lively discussion about City Skyline, which is like a city simulation building game.
Yeah.
And I thought I had a lot of hours putting a City Skylines, just plain I had like 200 hours
Nope.
in it. And then somebody linked their times and it was in the thousands of hours. And I was like, okay, so
Wow.
I need to catch up. Jeez.
I do like the idea. This is something that I think I've got pinned up. The gaming on Linux challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the name of an old game, and we have and we have an hour to get it going.
Oh, you're
I
talking
think,
the Linus Tech Tips one?
yeah.
Ooh, which ones do they have trouble with? Did they say which games they have trouble? Yeah, I think they probably did.
It's Heather.
Hello, Heather.
Hello. How are you? Given plenty of shout outs to the desktop in Daba next week and the awesome guest you're going to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I
So
saw something from Paul saying you're a normal desktop pleb, and okay, I'm mostly a normal desktop pleb. Are there things that you would like to see about like how to do, are there certain things you've been wanting to do and you'd like to learn how to do them together? Or certain kind of desktop skills or things that you kind of want to know? I think this doesn't have to just be a power user channel.
oh no, by no means. I'm by no means a power user.
Mhm.
I develop software. I use my computer like a normal person though. That's the thing that's really I think when I'm not working, I generally take off my engineer hat and I sit down at my computer and I like fat finger Chrome tabs. That's like how I go about my day. I'm not in like terminal doing like wget straight HTML injection, like it's not what I do. So yes, I think you're in good company being a normal desktop user. I think you're going to be very comfortable here. Yeah, we have a wide range. I mean, but we also have like probably some of the best server people on the planet. So we'll make sure to get some of them on to talk to people as well. Make sure that we keep it interesting.
Yeah, and it has been interesting to see people who have been getting into building the micro kernel with Andrea and Yannick. So that's been it's been interesting to see that grow and to see them just kind of embrace it. And who knows, maybe we'll have the next competitor to Ubuntu. But I think that, I think some of our streams that have gone really well have been people who have been teaching people how to do
Mhm.
other things. And I know I'm trying to kind of, oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. Holy crap, that's a good idea. I like that idea. I'm gonna do that.
Awesome. All
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's perfect.
That that really is. Okay. Bug walkthrough. On Launchpad before testing week. Perfect. Then maybe even like a similar walkthrough for the ISO testing too.
Yeah. One thing I did want to do was to make some content showing, like, on different hardware setups, the process of going through and installing Ubuntu and working out any hardware kinks. Like, my method for doing that is try to just create like a bunch of follow by guides, or not, or just fun entertainment if you just like watching people install Ubuntu all day. For people, and as part of that, there's going to be bugs, and so a whole nother series talking about just how to properly report a bug, how to properly triage, like what information do developers actually need from you. um,
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, developers need a very specific subset of information, and it's not completely apparent to the end user what it is that they need. So it's very easy to fall into the trap of giving them enough information to make the developer interested in your case, but not enough to actually do anything about it. So
Yeah.
I have been there, oh, so many times.
Like that sounds like something that was gained through hard experience.
My favorite bug report that I've ever had reported to me was somebody in the title just wrote "shit's broke," and then the body was empty. That's the best. Short to the point.
Wow.
Learn
Yeah.
from that person.
Yeah.
um, Define 2 or 3 excellent bug reports on Launchpad and pin them.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, good idea. Good idea.
I am taking notes on all of these things. So.
This is great. This is outstanding. Thank you guys for the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
There's reason you do systems engineering. They usually give better reports than people. That's true. Automated bug tracking systems do tend to give better, though. Yeah, it loses the human factor, though. I feel like there's a human touch in hearing the person's personal experience when they give their report.
Yeah. Aw. I'm
It
gonna
was great.
pin that because that's awesome.
It was great talking with everyone as well. Yeah, it was great. For those of you that don't know, I finally kind of poked my head out into the crowd at the Ubuntu Hideout Discord server and had a good chat with a few of the folks over there. It was great. Um, it was good. Yeah, I needed to finally like get to know everyone because there's so many people. How many people are on the Ubuntu Discord, Ubuntu Hideout Discord server? It's like tens of thousands of people over there now.
Thousands? I mean, I think they're almost up to 10,000 the last time. More than
More than
10K.
10,000. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so many people.
Yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, and they have just been fantastic. So it's like it's so great to see a part of our community that has that much energy. And wow, 10,547 people.
yeah. Daniel, you are one of the admins over there. Do you guys want to drop a Discord invite link in the chat so people that are watching this and watching the recording after the fact can join you guys? Because I'm sure there's people that just haven't yet had the chance to
Mhm.
join. So.
And honestly, Discord servers are the new Slack groups. So,
I love Discord. I'm a huge Discord fan.
mhm.
So
I've got my own Discord server. So The pandemic just did weird things. It's Yannick, one of our community hosts. Hey, how are you? We are just talking about what kind of content would people like to see on Ubuntu on Air, and especially since you're a community host.
So far, we have server stuff, we have how-tos, we have gaming on Linux, and um, just some general purpose computing stuff. Just stuff that normies, the normal people out there using their computer for work, are going to be interested in seeing. That's going to be our theme throughout 2204 is what you guys want to see. And Pasta OS stuff. Yep, we got to have more Pasta OS.
We can also just have more pasta too.
We can also have more pasta.
Mm-hmm.
I watched for any Italians out there, this might break your heart a little bit, but I watched a TikTok recently of a wife that was teasing her husband making pasta. She's like, "Oh, honey, I'm making pasta." And she takes all of the noodles and breaks them in half and puts them in the pot. He's like, "No."
It's okay because when I was just learning how to cook, not only did I do that, but I put my pasta in with the water and then started boiling it, and it took like a month before my mom realized why this spaghetti was horrible and gummy. This is a great comment here.
Ooh,
What
yep.
about Linux for content creators?
That would be
And
fantastic.
And Yannick, somebody who's done some DaVinci Resolve streams. Yeah.
We're clones now? Do we look alike?
Okay, so clearly now we need to get Britt and Gorion in the same stream to prove that they're two different people.
It's true. Nobody's seen us in the same room at the same time. I could be typing this out right now, talking to myself.
Yeah, but that is, and I actually reached out to someone at SourceGraph, who that is super friendly startup, but she is a content creator and she's running everything off of Ubuntu. So, yeah, so having people who are doing this. Let's see.
I on the same topic of doing the multimedia content production on Ubuntu, I'm super excited about that. I actually know very little about that. I'm a musician myself, but I don't really record. I just do it for myself for my own pleasure. But it's something I've personally wanted to get into and wanted to learn. So it could be really handy for me to kind of represent the community that's learning this for the first time, and bring on an expert and kind of like learn along with you guys as they teach. I do know that Pipewire, the new up and coming replacement of Pulse Audio and what's the other one? There's Pulse Audio. What's the one that's for professionals? I can't remember the name of it at the moment. Jack. Yeah, Jack. I do know that I had a lot of trouble in grad school trying to get Jack to work properly. I was just not good with working with it, but Pipewire, the Pipewire implementation apparently is a breeze and it works fairly seamlessly with all of the audio programs. So I'm pretty excited for the future of the audio stack on Linux moving to Pipewire.
Okay.
A Blender tutorial. That we should get Ryan Gorley from FreeHive to give us a Blender tutorial because they are wizards with animations.
Blender tutorial. And who is that person?
Ryan Gorley from FreeHive. By the way, if you guys don't know, FreeHive is a multimedia agency. They make the GNOME and KDE release videos. They make all sorts of release videos for all sorts of projects.
Oh, cool.
And they use exclusively free software. They use just Inkscape, GIMP, Blender, just free software for the entire process. And their results they're not just good for free software, they're good, period. Like their videos are just excellent, like bar none. So if you guys haven't checked out a free high of it all. Check out their stuff. It's awesome. Shout out to them.
Oh, Marcus would. Oh, wow! You guys have such great ideas, but also, Popey, hello. Yes, and making Flutter apps. I know that Diogo Constantino and the Ubuntu Portugal and the Flutter Portugal community have started on that, and I need to annoy them and poke them with sticks very nicely for the second part. And I know Yannick has been working on that too. And also, this is a really brilliant idea. But Marcus Tom son, who is just passionate about audio stuff, and he would be a great guest. So, okay, let me type these things out
Well,
because
looks like we have Popey joined us today. Hi, Popey.
You will have a lot of ideas.
Noob level system D tutorials like setting up timers and such. That's something that would be really useful for me to learn, actually, because I understand all the theory behind it. I understand in principle how to do it, but have I ever actually set up a whole bunch of timers on my own system? Definitely not. But I think I probably would seek to benefit from that. So yeah, that's a great one. System D stuff. Ooh, there's so many good topics here. So many things to learn about. Make some tutorials under 3 minutes. Is it 3 minutes on TikTok or is it 1 minute on TikTok?
Noob levels. Oh. Okay, noob level system D tutorials.
The Linux community pushed the idea that it sucks. We're talking about system D, and then 90% of the people don't actually know. Yeah, that's true. System D is fantastic, just across the board. There's a lot of people that have philosophical reasons for not liking it for one way or the other, but it's solid software. I don't know many people that have an argument that's not good. It's just they don't like the principle.
I just got to this post. That's what made me laugh.
3 minutes for people with revisions. Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be our audience. I mean, unless a whole bunch of like 14-year-olds really want to learn about system D content on TikTok.
Yeah, just there are some teenagers with shocking amounts of patience out there.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, this is what so kind of an intro to.
Yeah, explain what system D is. This is a good one. This is a good one in general. Arming the community with information to kind of combat a lot of the narratives out there that are stirred up by a small minority of people, I think would be good. There's a lot of misinformation about intentions of developers, intentions of projects, that have kind of become folklore almost at this point in the conversation. And being able to combat those with just facts and details and information, I think is always a good thing. System D, Blender in 3 minutes. Yeah, we were just talking to the Popey about having an actual Blender Pro to talk about it. I couldn't teach anyone about Blender. I could like open the program and play around with the little square that's in the middle, and that's about it. The system sure could include an overview of the file system layout. That's actually a really beautiful topic. So many people coming from the Windows ecosystem are so unfamiliar with the way that a Unix file system layout works. They don't really understand /user, /home, all of those directories. They're used to having a C drive with a Windows folder. So going through and explaining like the Unix structure of the way files are laid out, I think would be a really, really, really good tutorial series. Brilliant.
Yeah, and so we could have like almost kind of like a Mythbusters.
I don't know if I can.
Some interns that we could do, slightly horrible things to. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in general, though, the theme of these going forward is like it's really hard to dispel like every myth, every legend about a piece of software. But arming our watchers, arming our community with just the facts and information and the knowledge about how these services work and how you can use them for your benefit. And a lot of the things that we're going to cover also are probably way beyond the scope of what a normal Ubuntu desktop user needs to know. It's just the more knowledge you have, the more informed you are, the better you can, the better you can run your computer. And this is all about empowering people to empower them in personal computing and empowering them to take charge of their own computing environment. And so, yeah, that's probably going to be more and more the upcoming theme, is just empowering people for their computing needs. Some basic content on backup strategies and apps that we can use to ensure we have robust backup data. Yeah, so that's great. I know there's a lot of paid services that you can do it, and I think I just was reading a Twitter thread recently about somebody who was saying they wanted to be able to take their Deja Dupe backups and then automatically sync them to like a cloud service provider. And I know these are all solved problems, so it's really just about bringing on an expert and having them show everyone exactly how to do proper and secure backups. Did I say it wrong, Ken? Deja Dupe? That's what I said, right?
Oh, that's actually cool because I've got multiple drives and I have no idea how to use them well.
Yeah, that's something that's a great point. We absolutely could do that. That's probably something I could actually probably wing because I think I actually do know how to do that.
Yeah, and then we've got, oh my gosh, we have a whole bunch. This goes back to actually we will be sure we are doing a Nextcloud collaboration at Virtual FOSDEM, and we're going to have like a 90-minute tutorial on getting everything set up. But we could certainly do that as an Ubuntu on Air too.
Some Nextcloud tutorials on getting set up and maintaining it. So, Popey, this goes back to what we were talking about before about like proper ways of reporting bugs, like how to actually report a bug with necessary information. Moving to how to ask good questions. Sometimes you're not reporting a bug. Sometimes you're just trying to understand something better. And there's a good way and a bad way to. There's a few good ways and many, many, many bad ways to ask questions. And I think most people just are unaware maybe how they come off. So informing them like good ways in order to maximize the amount of positive responses that you're going to get, I think is definitely a good tool to have in your arsenal.
Okay, and then we've got Ken's thing here. Ask questions in a way that has good SEO later. Marketing will be, very pleased. But I know that Popey, you've got that video that you did on basically on answering questions in Ask Ubuntu. And I know that considering we've got so many Ask Ubuntu people here from the Hideout, that especially since that's such a great way for people to get started, then having kind of more ways to kind of onboard people into being better question askers and better question answerers would be beneficial for everybody. Cool. And there were some.
Ken, it just reminds me of all the Stack Overflow issues I've read where somebody posts like a question that's like perfect for you, and then like they respond to it 3 days later, like figured it out and closed, and that's it. Like they don't actually post what they did. Controlling your system programmatically for apps, checking the Wi-Fi status, sharing text, and other are all nicely documented, but not in Linux. Maybe D+. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that it's a smaller subset of people that are interested in controlling their system and having that like granular control through terminal and through like shell scripting. But I think it is an audience that we can make some content for and definitely pull some people on that know that stuff. I am not that person, so I would be learning along with everyone. Ooh, yeah, about Canonical. Yeah, so as you guys probably are aware, Canonical is our is who both Monica and myself work for, and a number of people in the chat right now work for. Canonical started and stewards the development of the Ubuntu operating system. Not many people necessarily know about Canonical and what the mission is and what we're all about. So bringing on people to talk about Canonical and then the corporate side of Ubuntu and what that's all about, I think is definitely a great thing.
Right.
Ooh, anything involving like cryptography, like GPG keys,
Ugh.
SSH keys, like public keys
GPG
and private
keys.
keys.
Oh my god.
I use them all the time, and I'm still like, I actually don't know what I'm doing. I just know that you don't share your private key, and you just like, I know the steps and I know the buttons to click, but I actually don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. So I'd love an expert to teach me more about that. I think this might turn into a year of I get to play the stupid idiot who doesn't know anything, and I bring on the world's foremost experts to teach me, and I just get to be dumbfounded for an hour in front of everyone. You know, I think that might be what the show turns into.
That is key maintenance. There's nothing wrong, and I don't think anybody would call you the stupid noob. Just saying.
I can play that role though. I can put on that hat for the views, for the laughs.
Yeah. And then did we get to the stuff about Bash?
We can, in particular, just more about Bash scripting in general, like how to automate systems, how to create scripts that you can use, or is there something in particular about Bash scripting that you want us to talk about?
Oh, that's
how to write proper Bash. Yes, that would be good. A good tutorial on like the Bash scripting language would be good. Another nice thing to bring forward is how to set up multiple user system and having a little more insight in what users and groups are and how to use them to best extend without damaging security. So yeah, I think this goes also into the same vein of like understanding the Unix and Linux file structure is also understanding like the user structure, like the way user permissions are created and distributed. It's different. It's significantly different than what they are probably familiar with on Windows, and if you're using Mac, it's something that's invisible to you predominantly. So it can catch, I think, new users off guard. So I think that's a brilliant topic to talk about. Yeah, people are talking about just Bash scripting and how they tend to be garbage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I think. I mean, if we think about using it more in a, I don't know, like more in a profession. I mean, my only experience with it is kind of a little bit indirectly. My husband, who's now a junior software developer, started out really with scripting and just kind of moved on from there, and it's kind of like a fundamental tool that really helped him get what turned out to be a really good job. That is really helpful. And so yeah, so I think it seems like, but I think the Popey had a good point, is that figuring out who our target audience is for those talks.
Yep.
Are we trying to get people, it's like here, it's like here, like why you shouldn't, like safer Bash scripting policies and procedures, or do we want to just, kind of more people who are completely new to Bash? So I think kind of figuring out who we want, who it is we want to reach would be good. But it looks like we've got some people here who would really be helpful in figuring that out.
Yep, we have no shortage of experts on any number of topics that we want to talk about that we can bring. It's just going to make sure that we're hitting what you guys want at the level that you guys want. I wouldn't expect these to become like encyclopedic lessons on the best possible practices. There's people that have made courses and series on everything you need to know about bash scripting. I think what you can expect from this channel is a entertaining, lighthearted way to dip your toes into some of these concepts that you may have never experienced before, and maybe learn something over the course of an
Mhm.
hour. So,
Yeah. So
uh,
you all have helped us make a lot of potential content.
yeah, how long is our list? Like a full page at this point?
Yeah, I will share the notes with you, but we have lots of points.
This is great. So again, just to reiterate, this channel belongs to you guys.
Mhm.
We are here to better serve what you guys want. Today, a little different than our traditional content, which is that today it's mostly just a Q&A, getting to know you and hearing the feedback from you. Expect in the coming weeks, though, going into the end of January into February, we're going to bring in some people from various YouTube channels that you've maybe heard of, maybe subscribe to. We're going to bring in some people from the Ubuntu community and some community members to be our guests.
Yes, we can.
Yep, that'll be on Discourse for sure.
Excellent idea. Well, I thank you all so much for you all have just such amazing energy here. And yeah, this is something here can community hosts pick some of these subjects up. Yes,
By all
like
means.
like like
Yeah.
we said, this is your channel. So and make it a wiki page, and this could be collaboratively maintained.
It could be great.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great
And
idea.
there are no bad ideas.
Just bad people.
Wow, we've got our 360 reviews coming up in March, so you're a brave man. Brave man. But yes,
Just kidding.
yeah, but making this a discourse post and then making the resource of the wiki means that whenever you all have ideas, then this is something that you can post. And then if you have been wanting to be a community host, which you totally should, it's
You
so
should.
much fun.
It's very fun.
Then you can, if you've been hunting for ideas, then that wiki page is something you can go to and pick one up. And Andrea and friends, I think that if we, because we've had really good ones on microkernel development. And then if we have things on, how to start contributing to the Linux kernel, I think that could be, it seems like there is not much information out there. And considering that that those are some really necessary skills.
Yeah, how to contribute directly to Linux kernel. That's probably going to be a separate series. That's some pretty hardcore programming. So
Yeah.
so that's probably going to be something that we do special for you guys, because that might be a little too intense for this particular show that we're putting on. I'm really interested now that Brian and I, apparently all three, goes, I'm all for it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd like to know more, to learn more about this development.
Danny, hello. So we have been posting a whole lot of great ideas, and I know that especially having like what if there's anything about kind of snaps or Snapcraft or WSL, because I know that those are things that you happen to do extremely well. We're going to have a discourse post on a wiki page on UbuntuOnAir content. So if there's anything that you would like to add, because oh my gosh, it's almost an hour. I was going to say it's almost
Yep.
2, but not for you.
Nope, not for me.
Yep. And we certainly appreciate all of you who are spending your evenings with us too.
Or mornings.
Yeah.
Don't
Mostly
forget about West
evenings.
Coasters.
the West. Okay, it's morning, but it's like brunch morning. It's late morning. Oh yeah, I didn't realize it was still morning there. Anyway, so we will what I should have been doing as long as well as taking notes was to get a discourse post made now. But you all know the discourse. Keep an eye on it. I will also tweet that link out. If you're in the Ubuntu Hideout, we will send you the link to that discourse post with the wiki. Anyway, you all have been fantastic. Please keep those ideas and that energy coming. Please feel free to share those posts with people who you think might have great ideas. And seriously, if there is something like if you're passionate about scripting or audio and you want to host things, please let us know and we will get you the access that you need, and we would love to have more people who aren't Britt and I talking. I mean, we have fun, but it would be nice to share that fun.
And make sure you, if you're interested in joining us at FOSDEM or helping us with the booth, please let us know. Look for the call for papers for the Linux App Summit coming up. Again, that's going to happen. The call for papers will open in February. The Linux App Summit is in April. If those are anything that you'd want, especially our Central Europeans who can make it to Italy on that particular weekend, I'd love to see you there.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably talk more. We'll mention this a couple more times leading up to it as well. So
exactly. Well, don't forget. So next Tuesday at 3:30 p.m., which is at 2030 UTC. I did the time math. Andrea and Yannick will be here for part 3 of Pasta OS development, so more microkernel. And 8:30 p.m. UTC, which is 2030. I was right. And then next Friday, join us for the Ubuntu for the desktop Indaba, which Heather is at noon Eastern. I should really know this. Oh my gosh, I feel horrible. I should really know the schedule better. Oh my gosh.
And we'll make sure to post on Twitter and our social handles links to the upcoming Indaba. So if there's ever any question about when it's going to be, just look for us on Twitter. And I'm not on Facebook. Do we do Facebook? I don't have a Facebook. So look for us on Twitter.
Okay, so excellent. So the Indaba. Oh, thank you.
In 3 time zones. Look at that.
5 p.m. UTC. Thank you, Heather. Perfect.
The desperation. Just look.
All right. Thank you, Heather. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Have a great week, and we'll hopefully see you in some of these streams next week.
Take care.